All right, let's talk social media today. Some people hate social media, some people tolerate social media, and other people are obsessed with social media. But wherever you may fall on that spectrum, I think one thing we can all agree on is that social media is greatly impacting relationships. So in this video, I want to talk about 5 ways that I see social media impacting relationships in hopes that you can avoid some of the negative effects that it may be having on your relationship. That's today on Relationships. Hey, welcome to Relationships. My name is Eric Wooten. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome to the place to get practical relationship advice that actually works in your relationship. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss any upcoming videos. If you want some free resources like our guide to intimacy, or if you're dating and you want our Dater's Manifesto, you can check that out in the description area below as well. So, social media. Here's the deal. Like I said, some people love it. Some people think, man, it's a great way to keep busy. It's a great way to network. It's a great way to build a business. Other people are like, I absolutely hate it. They've had their relationships negatively impacted by a spouse or partner talking to somebody else on social media they shouldn't be talking to. And so some people are like, I absolutely think it's the worst thing in the world. The reality is, like a lot of things, it has both good and bad aspects to it. And so if we're going to have healthy relationships that are growing and thriving and protect them, then we really need to be aware of how social media might be impacting our relationships. So I want to give you 5 ways that I see social media impacting relationships currently. And then I want to hear your thoughts on the pros and cons that you believe social media has had on a relationship. So I would say thought number 1 is that we are way more distracted than ever. So social media has become a welcome distraction for everybody. You drive by a bus stop in the morning, every single kid is on their phone. Everybody takes their phone everywhere. You go in the bathroom, you probably take your phone. You stop at a stoplight, you grab your phone, start flipping through it. And so for a lot of us, the reality of relationship is that intimacy requires time and talk. And a lot of us are spending so much time on our social media that we're not spending time with our partner, and we're not talking, we're not engaging. And then some of us are spending time with our partner, but we're still on social media. Show of hands if you've ever been sitting in the same room or on the same couch next to your spouse, both of you on social media not paying attention to each other. Or you're in one room, they're in the other room, and instead of getting up and going spending time, you just text anyway. And so a lot of us, we are allowing social media and our desire to check on there and see who's doing what and see who's liking what, and it's distracting us and preventing the time and talk that's needed for us to have healthy relationships. So we need to find times to put those phones down and have undistracted time with one another in order to maintain connection in the relationship. So, social media, we have way more distractions than ever. Number 2 is we are way more accessible than ever. Yeah, people have too much access to us. And if you've watched any number of my videos, you know I talk a lot about the importance of guarding and protecting the relationship. From jobs, from in-laws, from friends, from people of the opposite sex. I think we've got to guard our relationships. And the problem with social media is any old person can slide into your DMs or your partner's DMs at any moment. And partly we feel an obligation to respond, like these people are supposed to have access to us. But an old flame, somebody who does not have the best interest of your relationship in mind, can slide into your DMs, can slide into your partner's DMs at any moment and disrupt the relationship. And oftentimes that may happen when the relationship's not in a good place and you're like, oh, well, that's good timing. I absolutely would like to entertain a conversation with this other person. And so it makes it hard to guard our relationship when we're so accessible on social media. Prior to social media, right, they'd have your phone number or know your address. Now, people you don't even know have access to you, can follow you, can feel like they know you, can follow along with your whole life. And so I think we've just become way too accessible. And many of you have been in a relationship where somebody else accessed your spouse or partner, and it caused problems in the relationship. And so we've got to guard against that stuff. The third idea I have is that we have way more comparison than ever. Listen, there is nothing worse than feeling good about your situation and your life and then getting on social media and seeing somebody else's and going, I want what they have. And so for a lot of us, that comparison can cause hopelessness, can cause dissatisfaction, can cause frustration in our relationships when we were good. I was good. I was just minding my own business, doing good, thought my relationship was good, and then I started seeing everybody else's, and I'm like, oh, man, they seem like they're having a much better time than we are. Or I wish my spouse would do that for me. Or, man, they always seem like they're enjoying themselves. We don't have that kind of enjoyment. And take it from me, I've said this once, I say it 100 times, most of the people that are posting most prolifically about how great their relationship is are the people with the highs and lows, and their relationship is not that great. And the highs you're seeing are also met with all the lows. The people that are good or even keeled, they may post a dinner or anniversary every now and again, but they don't need to flaunt what they got going because they're doing all right. So comparison is killing us in relationship. There may be no greater relationship killer than comparison. And so we have way more comparison than ever right now. And social media has provided that for us, which leaves us dissatisfied. A fourth idea I have is we have way more misinformation than ever. Listen, if you're out there trying to get relationship help, whether you're married or you're dating, it can be confusing. There is so much bad information out there that we often are filling our minds with ideas and tools and principles and tricks and strategies that just do not work. And if they do work, they're manipulative. So if you're dating, most of the advice out there is how to play games, how to get the guy, how to make sure she's into you, how to keep them hooked. Even for married couples, a lot of the stuff that's out there is like 3 ways to get your wife begging for you to come back, or 5 ways to make your husband sorry that he ever thought about leaving you. And like, what in the world are we doing? We're setting our relationships up where we're just playing games all the time, and none of those games actually work. Listen, everybody has an opinion, and now with social media, everybody has a place to post their opinion, and now that's made everybody a relationship expert or coach. And so you'll see all kinds of misinformation out there that seems good on the surface, but ultimately isn't going to help you create a real healthy relationship. It might help you control or manipulate a specific situation to your good. Ultimately, that's not the way to have a healthy relationship. So with all this stuff that we have way more of, distractions, access to ourselves, misinformation, comparison, at the same time as all of that, number 5, with social media, we have way less relationship skills than ever in our lives. We just have forgotten how to actually relate. With social media, you can shoot your shot and you can drop DMs and you can hit emojis and you can just make little comments. And we've lost the art of emotional intelligence and relationship skills. And talking to a lot of women who are dating, I hear the same thing over and over and over again. How come these dudes don't have anything to talk about? All I get is some text at 10 p.m. What you doing? Or what you wearing? And they're like, is there anything else? Once they do that, they have nothing else to talk about. Because we've forgotten how to develop some relationship skills. I know a lot of married women that are frustrated that their husbands don't have the conversational skills to develop a real emotional connection and intimacy, because we live in this world where all we have to do is drop emojis and abbreviations, and then we don't know how to actually have a full conversation. I mean, Twitter came out and caused us to master the art of half sentences and quick thoughts. And when you get into a real relationship that requires depth of connection and conversation, we don't know what we're doing anymore. And so with all the extra stuff that social media has done for us, it's actually caused our relationship skills to diminish, and we got to work on those. And the way we work on those is to get off your social media and actually have a real conversation. Get off of your text and actually have a phone conversation. I know some of you are like, well, I don't really do the phone. Okay, but every once in a while, you may need to have an actual conversation where noise comes out of your mouth, not just thoughts straight to text, so that you can develop a relationship. So there's 5 ways that I've seen social media fully impacting the way we do relationship. It's causing us to be distracted. It's making it hard to protect our environments because we have too much access. We got too much comparison, which causes us to be dissatisfied with our stuff. We got all this misinformation, which is just confusing. And then we just don't even know how to relate anymore because social media has caused us to behave and act in certain ways that do not require the skills needed for a relationship. So I'm sure we could list 100 others and keep going, but hey, there's just 5 ways that social media is impacting relationships. We've got to guard those areas, and we've got to work to develop the kind of relationships that we want. So I'd love to hear your comments. Drop a comment. Let me know what you see as far as these 5 and any others you see that social media has negatively impacted your ability to date or work a healthy relationship. If there's anything we can do for you as far as relationship, check out the links in the description area below. We got dating classes, we got marriage classes, we got free resources, we got singles experiences and marriage experiences on location, 4-day experiences. So we've got anything that you might need to grow and strengthen your relationships, dating or married. Check out the description area below. And until next time, I'll see you right back here on Relation Shots.